Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you've been following along, you'll know that I've been busy trying to build the world's first upside down reef tank. So far it's going pretty well, but I've had a few sort of issues pop up over the last couple of weeks, so I thought I'd jump in and give you guys a quick update on how it's going. So if you guys can remember from previous episodes, I had recently set up the Alkatronic Pro on this system. Since then I have also set up my Dosetronic Pro. And they're both doing really well. This has been maintaining a pretty stable DKH. It's been really cool actually seeing, as I add more corals to this tank, how the alkalinity has been going down. And also combining it with the Aquaforest CO2 scrubber, I've also been able to maintain a really high pH. So during the night my pH rarely drops below 8. I would say it never really does. Especially when we're not here, having two people in this house, the pH tends to drift a lot as CO2 builds up. But all in all, these two or three things, should I say, have done a really great job at maintaining pH and alkalinity, which are sort of the two of the most important factors in a reef tank. Since my last video, you can see that there's a lot more corals in this tank. I wanted to sort of wait a bit longer before I put corals in there. But I saw on a local for sale page a guy was selling, or unfortunately shutting down, his very beautiful marine tank. So I jumped on that. As I said, I'd like to wait a little bit longer before I put a lot more corals in there, but I sort of just had to jump on it because I didn't really have any room in my other tank to store all the corals, so I had to put them in here. But since then I've got a bit of a bacterial bloom. It hasn't affected any of the corals or fish or anything like that. It's just a bit ugly to look at. So I'm going to hopefully get a UV sterilizer, just chuck on there for a few days, get rid of that. One of the main things with bacterial blooms is you just want to make sure that your oxygen levels or your pH in your tank is staying stable or high. Often at night the bacterial bloom, especially if it's like a heterotrophic bacterial bloom, will consume a lot of oxygen in the tank, and that's when other critters in there can suffer. But I'll give you a quick rundown of some of the corals and fish I've got. So as you can see, I've got a lot of Acropora in there. I've got this nice Seriatopora at the back. You can see my original damselfish, I'm loving that colony. I've got a bunch of zoas, morphs. I've also got, in there if you can see, a very nice little clam. I've tried to wedge him on the side there. I don't really want him to fall off. You can also notice that I've got just a Prime 16 on the top of this tank. I've got another HD Hydra 64 HD. I'm going to be chucking on top of it in the meantime. But for now, that's just doing a good job of keeping a little bit of light there. Underneath, you can see I've got a few more corals under there. I also picked up this absolutely beautiful, I think it's a hybrid lightning maroon clown pair. I'm not entirely sure. If any of you guys know, please feel free to comment, but I think they're absolutely stunning. I've never really thought or considered of getting some of these before, but they were in the guy's tank that he was shutting down, so I grabbed them. But yeah, they're absolutely beautiful. They're still settling in a bit, so they're a little bit scared, but they're eating, which is all good. You can see too, I've got this wrasse darting around. I wanted to put a wrasse in there early on just because he'll help to keep a lot of the Acropora eating flatworms at bay. I did notice on my wild colonies I got from Monsoon, when I dipped them, they did have a few AEFs on them, or flatworms on them. And I try my best to get them all off, but it's always inevitable that they'll still be in the system just because they lay eggs and stuff. So I just wanted to jump on that early. And that's why I've got that little wrasse there. He's a little bit skinny from the shop I got him from, but he should fatten up. He's pretty keen on all the food. You can also see I've got a lot of trochus snails and some very large ones as well. I thought since I'm doing a bare bottom tank, I want something that will just naturally sort of eat all the algae that grows on the glass, especially on the bottom, as that's where the lights are. Like, the biggest question I get about this tank is, how are you going to clean the bottom of the glass? Well, I've got this flipper magnet here, which you can see just there. So I can actually move that around and clean the bottom of the tank I think I want to put these, or one of my followers on YouTube actually made a really good suggestion of making like a slide out bracket for these lights, which I think I will do. So thank you for that suggestion, because I am going to do that. It'll make life a lot easier when I'm trying to clean the bottom of the tank. But like I said, when I go away, I'm not really going to be able to ask people to clean the tank bottom every day. So that's why I got as many snails as I've got in there. But yeah, apart from that, that's kind of it for this tank. All the corals have been looking super healthy and happy. I've been keeping my alkalinity around 9.5 to 10. The Alctronic has been doing a really good job at maintaining that. It was, like I said before, when I originally set up this tank, my DKH was around 12, and that was just because of all the alkalinity leaching out of the rocks and all that. So it's been slowly coming down, and as it's been coming down, I've been adding more and more alkalinity via my Dosetronic to keep up with the demand. Yeah, so you can see all the corals. Yeah, so I'm really keen to see how it looks when the bacterial infestation goes. You can kind of see still the bacteria floating around. But yeah, all in all, I'm extremely happy with it. I think it looks great. Yeah, it'll be really nice once all the corals begin to grow out a bit as well. Following on from that, so with the guy's tank he was shutting down, I managed to get quite a few new pieces of coral. I got this really amazing gold hammer there, as well as this absolutely stunning clam, if you can see that. Yeah, absolutely stunning. I also got a mandarin fish too, which is in here somewhere, is hiding. I've got these, never mind about the ugly cups, they're just there basically to hold all my excess corals. As you can see, I've got quite a lot just sitting down the frag rack. So all the corals I'm putting in this tank over here, I've been keeping backups in this tank, just because I want a really sort of diverse tank, and I'm just worried that if anything happens to my upside down tank, I'm not going to have the corals to put back in it. So I'm trying to keep double frags in each tank, just as a way of sort of a kind of like a bio backup sort of thing. But as you can see, so the tank here gets quite a lot of natural light, but it's actually been really good because all the corals on the side of this rock have been growing really well. So I haven't actually really had that much of an issue with excess algae growth on this tank, but it has only been a few months, so I will keep you guys updated on that. But yeah, everything's looking really nice. The fox face and the blue tang, I think it might be time to sort of put them in a bigger system now. It's going to be a pain in the ass trying to catch them out because they absolutely love it in here. They get fed really well, they're nice and happy. But yeah, I think I might either have to take them into the tank at uni or consider getting a bigger tank here. But I'm not sure how my wife feels about that, so it might be the first option. But yeah, so that's this tank. It's going strong, it's looking good. It's just like a big ship. It kind of just keeps chugging along. I don't really have to do much maintenance to it, to be honest. I do like maybe one 20 litre water change every 2 weeks. Just kind of, I don't know why I do it, just makes me feel better, I guess. The alkalinity is always stable, always dosing sort of the same stuff. But yeah, that's chugging along nicely. So yeah, thank you all for watching along. I will let you know how this tank goes. Once it's cleared up, bacterial bloom's cleared up a bit, I'm going to do a few more videos on it. But in the meantime, I'm going to chuck a UV sterilizer on it. I've got carbon and everything in there as well. I think it's just one of those natural things that a new tank goes through. So yeah, we'll keep you guys updated. Cheers!